Schuck Cup 6 semifinal, best of 3. The winner goes to the finals, of course. FoCuS is the reigning champion. Was the winner of Schuck Cup 5 without dropping a map this tournament. Not flawless. He lost maps to Law, Liot, and Romantic. I mean, that is absolutely understandable and forgivable as well. But will he be the champion again? That's the question. We will answer that right here on Northern Isles.
Just like we saw yesterday between FoCuS and Romantic, we were also on this map, right? Normally Northern Isles survives the vetoing process. Yes, this matchup currently is really interesting. It feels like, to me, this is still in the development stages. It feels like it isn't quite figured out yet. The one thing that has absolutely overtaken the meta, no question, is the Farseer. We mentioned this yesterday. FoCuS, the first top orc to absolutely exclusively play Farseer versus human. It is nowadays, for about a month or so, without exception, we see no Blade Masters at all, only Farseer. Whereas Lin, for example, will be switching it up depending on the map. It's going to be a TC second, so this is going to be what we know. But everything else is kind of the question. Is it going to be Walkers? Maybe. Is it going to be Shaman? Maybe. On the human side, is it going to be Rifles? Maybe. Is it going to be Alchemist? Maybe. You know, it's pretty up in the air at the moment and makes it really interesting to see how these players decide on their strategy and how stubborn or flexible they are.
That's absolutely something new in the entire Warcraft scene for, I think, half a year. I mean, if you look back at the good old days, I don't know if that's still the good old days, but every single meta was set in stone, the build orders were set in stone, the unit compositions were set in stone. It was mostly about timings and creep routes, not even about like how to skill your heroes. So everything was predetermined basically. And now it's exactly like you said, like there's so much more variety in the Warcraft meta game at the moment, so you can be surprised by a build, you can throw curveballs, which are not cheeses at the same time. It's just a little different, serve a different purpose, and have different strength without being super weak at the same time. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely agree. With the MK and the Rifles coming in, Orcs for a while there seem to be struggling pretty hard, but then the tier 2 play with the TC, with the Stomp Lightning Shield first, looked pretty amazing, but nowadays we see more and more Spirit Link with the Walkers. What is FoCuS gonna go for? We're gonna see soon. The nice advantage, of course, for the Orc in the early game here, without having to go for a shop, because that is something that the Farseer gives you. You're not that reliant on a shop as you would be with a Blade Master. Usually you get a bit of a tech lead. How's it looking here? A little bit. How much is that? Maybe 25, 30 seconds or so. It's going to grant him a faster second hero and quicker creep potential. From some orcs, Spiral, for example, we've even seen fast tier 2 expansions. But I feel like that isn't really a reliable play. So, not what I'm expecting here from FoCuS.
Alright, as the first heroes are skirmishing each other a little, we have the first subs coming in for the day. Thank you, one of our beautiful mods. Nohiro Masuda, 11 month already. How awesome was Spiral? Walker 3 in 2019. Who would have thought? Keep up the magnificent work. Okay, love you. Bye. Looking forward to see you in 3 weeks, I guess. Castlery, also subbing for the first time. Hirschbimbo for 34 months. W3C, Walker 3 Sunday hype. And Erathiel for 12-month anniversary achieved. Congrats to your new sub badge, my man.
Oh, the lightning shield creep. I really like seeing this against the Murloc, but doesn't unfortunately work as the grunt gets ensnared. But FoCuS doing a really good job until he got surrounded here almost by the creeps. Because look at the AM. He's been so close to level 2 for so long, which makes a massive difference, of course, because of the aura. But once the Farseer showed up, he never got allowed any more experience to the opponent. AM would love to get a little bit more XP. He's so close to the level 2, but he doesn't get it. In fact, it's the Farseer on level 2 before. The Lightning Shield did certainly help him here a little bit with creeping this. And now look at the AM. Still no level 2 and completely out of mana. This is something that the Farseer can do to you and is very annoying.
He absolutely needs to get the Flesh Eater now, but against Chain Lightning, that's not going to be too easy. We do have 2 Water Elementals. One of them is about to expire, and Archmage is at 50%, so will be a risk to go for that Murloc. In the meantime, we do have tier 2. Oh, these two footmen are acting slaying at this altar, but can't prevent the TC. We do have Raider Walker coming out. So, seems like the standard at the moment. On Schuck's side, we do see a blacksmith as well. So the question if rifleman yay or nay can be answered with yay. And the Mountain King is coming up as well. This is the most standard thing at the moment. There we see the chain lightning and the next item, or the replenishment potion.
Perfect.
I was about to say, like, we are not the biggest fans of the replenishment potion.
You're not the biggest fan. Don't drag me into this.
A few people are not the biggest fans of the replenishment potion, but if there ever was a moment for a replenishment potion, it's absolutely this.
So, TC, Stomp or Shockwave Neo? Has he decided yet?
He has not decided this yet. The overlay is empty.
Schuck is going for the most standard way of playing this nowadays, it seems, with the rifles, with the MK. A tier 2 expansion would be very unusual. We did see this attempted yesterday by Thorzane, but is far from reliable. But this may very well just be for creeping here on the Militia. Fire level 2 on the AM. But boy, did that take forever. MK getting a bit more tanky with the parry, if not too bad. TC solo creep at the Ogre Magi. That's instant level 2 always. That's great. Also a greater invulf for him against an MK is always going to be welcome. And now with the tier 2 and the level 2s available, FoCuS seems to be looking to claim the middle for himself. And by the movement of these players, you can see how they're feeling in the game.
Yeah.
It's Schuck on the outskirts, on the edges of the map, taking the smaller camps. He isn't really feeling too good. He's not feeling too confident. Whereas FoCuS, he's claiming the middle. He's feeling strong, large and in charge.
Absolutely, and with good reason. I mean, the Mountain King is okay on level 1 for picking up units, but against Speed Scroll and Endurance Aura, that's really hard to do. There's no Sorceress yet in the mix. There's also not too much damage, with the Archmage not being level 3, far away from that actually. Not too many Riflemen as well, so how would he stand a chance in that fight? There is none, because there's so much lockdown with stun and ensnare, plus the durability of the units insanely high with the Spirit Link. So yeah, absolutely the right call for Schuck to try to dodge any fights at the moment. FoCuS knows where he is, trying to go for that now. Oh, gets a free rifleman, that's big.
Thank you very much around there for the sub and welcome. Heal wards found here also by FoCuS makes creeping much easier, made this merchant actually super simple for him to creep. Schuck is on a creep evasion mission. He gets the level 3. If he claims the level 6 creep, I believe, yes he does. But the raiders are here. They're starting to lock down. Ensnares are flying. It's going to have to be a TP out by Schuck. Alright, gets
though,
away
right?
there with Ross's army.
I think it's worth it. This level 3 MK was a bit of a gamble, as he knew that FoCuS was so close. And so having level 3 is absolutely mandatory in these fights, I feel.
Yeah, totally agree. Could have considered staying down there and taking the fight, but his army was still pretty small, so understandable that Schuck ran away. He is sacrificing his AM though pretty heavily in experience. He's still far away from level 3, valuing the MK much more, which I suppose is understandable. Red Camp now going to FoCuS. This is the second healing ward he used. He is saving so much gold with these heal wards. He was always amazing for orcs.
We got the Hood of Cunning here, so the item not too worth it, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, these 2 heal wards at the 2 creep spots saved him, I don't know, 300 gold? And that is the money he needs for an expansion, and he pops it, and Schuck is on the other side of the map with weak water elementals, so what can he do right now?
At least he's close to the main, so militia support should be pretty strong for him. MK, speaking of strong, 1200 HP. That's pretty good. And he found some mana items as well. That shop is not gonna finish. He would love that to be ready to serve the MK with mana pots or something like that. FoCuS considering whether he wants to fully engage or just distract for his expansion. And Snare on the Mountain King. Stomp coming in. Only against the front line though. Not against the rifles in the back. Oh, and the clap. That was a big one. Next Stomp coming in, but once again, most rifles weren't really affected by this. I believe this to be a pretty good start here for Schuck. There's, of course, a TP still on the orc side to get out if he needs to. TC now using the last bit of his stomps, but especially the rifles in the back are safe. TP is coming out now. Kodo will not make it out. but they may have actually been the only loss for FoCuS.
Yeah, there was a good engagement, I think, from FoCuS. He controlled the Mountain King very well to delay the collapse as much as he can with his own storm, with ensnares. I think they flew twice on the Mountain King, so his arrival was quite a bit late. Then the fight started to turn around with these two big collapse. Also, the help of the Wand of Mana Stealing was quite nice to soak up a little and get more mana for the Mountain King himself. But still, I think FoCuS is in a good position. Schuck is at 50 supply now and can fight, but that's mostly due to FoCuS expanding. And I don't want to say being greedy, but he's not pushing upkeep. Now he is, of course. Cast his curse.
Yeah, I think Schuck just totally has no inkling about this expansion, right? Normally you can scout for that pretty easily, either with a Water Elemental or just with Militia. But he didn't do that now, did he? MK moving south, finding the Orc Force, which has now crept the natural. That's level 4 for the TC. That's also really nice, just for the better aura. 20% movement speed on everything is really good. Plus a bit of attack speed, of course. Total Beast would be a big loss. He pops a scroll of speed. That may not be good enough, though. 5-second stun from the Stormbolt gets him that kill. And that's the aura gone.
Yeah, speaking of auras, Schuck decided to go for Brilliance Aura level 2 instead of Water Elementals, which I totally understand. There's only 2 walkers, but still, you can dispel the Water Elementals if you want to. They do good damage, but you have a lot of riflemen for the same purpose, and having mana on the Priests and Mountain King is way more important, I feel. Ooh, trying to dodge the Stormbolt with the Ethereal form didn't really work.
Did you see that, though? It just, it dodges the damage, but not the stun.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that before. FoCuS once again is going to go for the counter-attack and is going to be willingly TPing out of this. Would love to have Shockwave right now, but of course he decided for the Stomp earlier. Once Schuck arrives here at his base, this will have to be a TP out. And this, of course, all designed to buy time for the expansion. The Chain Lightning is doing good damage, though. One Raider is going to be killed off. Oh, so close! The last hit actually gets the Raider.
Man, but how many kills did he get with the AoE? 3 workers are still alive. That's it. He has no militia at the moment. That's all he got. These corpses there indicating a mass murder. Level 3.5 on the Farseer, level 4 on the TC. We do see Chain Lightning 2, by the way, not Wolves. So, Schuck, with this push, absolutely has to kill this Great Hall. Otherwise, the game is lost. But on the other side, this exposes his main base, and FoCuS has pillage and heal scrolls and a bunch of raiders. Not sure if this trade is going too well for Schuck.
But FoCuS doesn't have a TP, so he needs to be really careful with how he actually attacks in here. If he goes past the altar into the back, he could just be getting stuck by a TPing in Schuck. So he's taking this more carefully. He's taking out the infrastructure in front, the altar first, the farm after. And Schuck will be able to kill the expansion and then TP home. Schuck, once again, this is expensive for him, but he's turning this game into a 1 base versus 1 base scenario again.
Let's see how long his base stands, because here we have a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Spirit Link applied this, but on both Water Elementals. Oh boy, that was a big one. Raiders are starting to fall. The TC comes in, lowering the damage from these riflemen. That's the most important thing. Aiming for this Archmage now to get rid of the Brilliance Aura. Doesn't have too much damage. Stomps to left and right, but that was the last one before popping the potion right there. Mountain King has nothing to work with, really. Oh yeah, he's super short on mana in a bit, and the Orc army is still in the middle of everything. Chain Lightning rattles through. This is a lot of damage combined with the stun. But FoCuS, is he falling apart slowly but steady? Militia is coming in. Oh, super
it's
important
really
moments.
close, man. It's razor thin. This fight is about to go either way. Level 4 for the Farseer. He can't summon the wolves now. Big stop again. He passed over the second mana potion. He gave both mana pots to the TC.
And that was so good. These stuns, man. There was basically no damage, and he hits it again. So close to 5, and that makes him able to escape this. But I think FoCuS thought this is gonna be way easier. Schuck with a good fight right there. But in the end, the consumables and the great control by FoCuS getting him that victory. And now Schuck has a problem. Like, once again, his Echo is wrecked. Once again, major losses. This
He's
AoE...
establishing the mining, though. And that's a good thing about the tier 2 rifle caster army. You don't really need lumber too much, so he doesn't need that many peasants. It is a 1,000 gold difference though in the mines, but yeah, Schuck, he's down in supply, right? But not by much. And level 5 MK, ladies and gents, we all know what that guy can do, but it's the same for the TC.
Absolutely. After this fight, it's just one creep camp, I guess, for the TC to hit level 5. Mountain King gets the Helm of Valor again. Nothing for his mana, and that's the most important thing. Well, he got the tome, at least. TC, so close to level 5. Again, the mana potions. Love to see that.
Player's forces are under attack.
It's of course a lot of gold, but he got quite a bunch of gold from killing these buildings with pillage.
Yeah,
Still
and there we
level
go.
5. Oh yeah, the Murloc Huntsman. That's it.
Level 5. All right, boys. Level 3 War Stomp. It is a beauty to behold. I wouldn't even mind him now deliberately trying to shop for Penance of Energy. What is in the marketplace? Is he looking? He's not really looking.
He has no gold either, right? It's just 100.
There is no pennant in there. Nothing for mana, really.
Let's see it. Okay. So not worth spending. We have long distance mining here. Schuck sees it, tries to interrupt it with the footman, but that footman is missing in the fight now. 46 versus 47. Schuck has a tiny supply lead. Oh, that clap didn't do too much.
Lining up the perfect stomp, Schuck having to split against it, and now the AM finds himself in trouble because there's no TP anymore. He's actually surrounded with Stomp coming in. He should be dead, and that is it. Can Schuck still hold on? Without his first hero, everything is dropping low, but the clap is doing insane amounts of damage at the same time.
But the heal scroll, perfect positioning from this Farseer to pop the potion. Also the ethereal form out. Once again, a little too late. This MK seems to be the carry, but the clap and Chain Lightning is so sick against this. He's beheading one dwarf after the next. Oh my god.
A player's forces are
Holy crap, FoCuS.
I got a half a level in this fight.
Level 5 TC, man. Level 5 TC. But the MK is still holding his own. Oh, but the altar is gone.
Yep.
He can't even remake the AM.
He does it.
rebuys him from the middle with the water elemental that was still there for like one more second.
And there was a walker. He was about to dispel it, but guess what? He finds him. Is there a raider coming maybe? From the base? No, he's just sending stuff back. Oh my, Schuck was lucky right there. Invis as well to get away. Schuck is still alive. With
It
29.
was extremely expensive to get this AM though back. Level 4 AM, that's like 600, 700 gold. Plus the Invis pot, plus the dust.
Yeah, but he needs this Archmage. I mean, there's no way to fight without Aura. But yeah, that's pretty much all he has, right? That's one Mountain King to save Schuck.
Maps like Northern and like Echo, it is so important whether you even... How do I put this? It isn't only important whether you lose or win the engagement, but also who gets to the shop after.
Yeah.
Because that's usually the guy who's going to be ahead in the next engagement because of that heal scroll. Both these armies desperately need heal scrolls.
Ooh, you know what?
FoCuS could go for one.
We have level 3 wolves now. And the amount of dispel is massively limited. This priest has no mana thanks to the absence of the Archmage. And we have pretty much a spy in the base right now. Okay, he exposes himself now.
To cancel the clarity. That was actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
FoCuS is playing this so well. This style against this crazy MK is not easy to execute, guys. Not at all. But FoCuS, he is once again looking so good these last couple of weeks. And this could be the last fight right now. Schuck down by 15 supply. Can one single MK tanky boy make up for this?
He has to. There's no mana potion on him though. There is a shop, but no gold. Might even be out of stock. First clap, but there is a heal scroll, so he can endure a couple of them. We have a mana potion now. This might be the item that saves Schuck the game, but in the meantime it buys time for FoCuS.
So basically this MK has like 5 claps, probably 6 claps if the fight is long enough. And there is reason to be anxious here for FoCuS. This is a lot of damage that will be coming in. And one heal scroll perhaps not enough to deal with this. However, second heal scroll is going to be available again soon.
Thank you, Testy Test, for the 10-month resub. Hello with me. And Blade Lord for the 10-month as well. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. Something that Schuck isn't doing at all is focusing the TC, right?
Yeah.
That's something we see quite a bit from other humans. In this very situation, of course, not that recommendable because he has the big invul. But, you know, like sooner or later you have to fight through that invul, I guess. But this TC has just had a totally free game, never under pressure. This can be rough for the TC because there's no healing for him from a Shadow Hunter or something. He just has the damage mitigation from Spirit Link.
These wolves, man. How annoying they are. The Archmage is at 30 mana. That's about it. Everything cancelled the entire time. Thank you, Albtraum69 for the Prime sub. And Yurko95 as well. Damn, little sub train going on.
Oh, Invis on the TC. That's so nice.
It's gonna be brutal, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, damn. Lining it up.
Come
Boom.
on,
Oh, Jesus.
Epicenter. And here comes the Chain Lightning. Perfect engagement. The Mountain King is clapping. Okay, but these stuns, he's hitting the second epicenter. It's absolutely marvelous how he finds the position with the TC. And everything is falling. Oh my god. Oh my god. What a TC play right there.
Beautiful. Perfectly done. Realizing the Invis can win him the game. Level 6, by the way, on the TC. Not that it really matters. He's never gonna die anyways. The AM will, though. AM falls for the second time. Or was it the third? I think it was the second time. Stomp in the back again. FoCuS is having so much fun this game.
Absolutely. My god. Stomp again. Triple kill. 1-0 FoCuS. Oh. If you're not a human player, this was... I feel like my pants got a little tighter.
5-second stun on a 6-second cooldown. But it's easy to say that the art is of getting to level 5 and playing so well before that. This was not thanks to Stomp. This was thanks to TC's to FoCuS's amazing play. But I still think rifles is not the way to go. I think once you see this TC, you have to go into mass casters.
I think so too, especially like breakers.
Yeah.
To get rid of a little mana. Of course you can, like, it will always force potions and stuff, but it forces the TC to go to the back line. Then he will be feedback. He loses some HP, he loses mana. He can only hit the casters in the back, so the damage is not that mitigated as if he hits the casters with the Stomp.
Yeah, and
I totally agree.
Yeah, I really like what Thorzane showed yesterday. He wasn't the first player to ever do this, but he was one of them to do it as well. When he saw the TC Farseer play on AZ, he went away from rifles and went mass casters, and also went for the Alchemist. Because if you just prolong the fights long enough with mass casters, you don't need that sick damage. You just need to sustain until the orc heroes are out of mana, and then usually you have the upper hand in the fight. But I feel like humans are being too stubborn with their rifle play.
I feel so too, and they do it in every matchup nowadays, except in Mirror. We mentioned this a couple of times now. And they fall to a race here that has been switching their tactics the most of all, I think, in competitive Warcraft, and that's surprisingly Orc. After so many years of Raid of Waka, these new builds just play out perfectly. And there's no answer yet, as you said.
There's, of course, downsides also of not going rifles and going mass casters. It's much harder to deal with Wind Riders, and Wind Riders have found more and more a place in this matchup. But, I mean, even before the rifles, you know, came and started dominating every matchup, humans were able to deal with Wind Riders. Perhaps you have to play a little bit more defensively. Perhaps you have to spawn a Water Elemental in your base on tier 2. Perhaps you have to go for a guard tower in your base. And yeah, that's expensive and stuff, but it's not like the only way to deal with Wind Riders is Rifleman.
No. You have Water Elementals if you're not stuck on level 1. I mean, this game got out of hand when he kept the Archmage on level 1 for such a long time. That was a big factor in the early game. But yeah, usually you do have good Water Elementals and good amount of Water Elementals. You have the casters, and you have Stormbolt early. So yeah, I feel you. I also feel that we have 2 new subs. Thank you, FanKid, for 5 months, and Fire Sailor for 53 months. We had the pleasure to meet you in Berlin, my man. Still remembering this evening vividly. Nice clap fiesta, he says.
That's 4.5 years, basically. Almost. Thank you very
Remo
much.
with the math.
And Noxious with the sub as well. Thank you very much.
Off to a good start here today.
Oh, look what Sock is doing. This
Empty.
is one of Sock's specialties. We have the Mountain King first. Against the Farseer. How cool is it that we live in a time where we see this? After years and years and years and years of Blade Master versus AM, every single game. Now we get MK versus Farseer.
Absolutely. And on paper, like, think back a year ago or so, we would have said, oh, this MK is just stormbolting, Farseer dead, he can't do shit. But I think he can distract him a lot. And this Farseer is really good in preventing levels from the opposing hero. And that's exactly what cripples this Mountain King then. He will get level 3 at some point, of course, but the way to get there is most likely not that easy.
But Sock was gambling quite a bit here, right? Because when you go for MK first, you really want to go Merc Camp creep. And imagine if this Farseer is not playing creeping. Imagine if he's playing aggressively. There would be wolves in the main right now. You'd have to use Call to Arms. This would be so expensive. In the meantime, the Farseer is sniping the peasants, which are all, by the way, hurt from the creep camp. It looks like Sock didn't creep. Was there a lightning shield? This looks like a lightning shield.
This looks like a lightning shield, yeah. And you know what? FoCuS is making his way over. He has only wolves, but there's no tower yet. Wolves entering. One of the peasants is already dead.
The best thing here to achieve would be a Stormbolt surround on the Farseer to get him out of his hair right away. Can he get it? Oh, FoCuS isn't looking. And that's an easy Stormbolt surround. This one should be closed. FoCuS a little asleep on the wheel right there. I guess he really wasn't expecting a Mountain King.
Yeah, he wasn't scouting at all, right? But he wasn't microing the wolves as well. There's 2 hurt peasants right there. Could have gotten kills as well. Not sure what he did. There's no new building in the base. This tech has started before as well.
Players' forces are under attack.
Maybe his wife brought him food or something. I don't know.
And it was a little bit slow, but there's still plenty of opportunity here to kill some peasants. Scout Tower or Arcane Tower is now done, but takes a while to kill 2 wolves just with a single Arcane Tower. So the MK is sitting defensively, wanting to protect his peasants.
It's okay. He got the Dispel from the Shadow Priest. That's fine.
But I mean, you have to expand, right? With this MK play, and
Yeah.
Forces are under attack.
that is so amazingly delayed now.
FoCuS is, of course, expecting this expansion already. The Berserker went towards Sock as well. So the Expo and the tech are even more delayed now.
I would love to see a Telly staff on the Farseer so they can be a little bit more reckless and get out of Stormbolts rounds.
Yeah.
But
Wolf is waking up the creeps. This Bloodlust is a little earlier, so this creep spot will do more damage than normally.
he's got a lot of mercs here, though. I think this should be safe. This looks like a safe expansion now. No last hits stolen. Stormbolt. Nah, I can't surround him. Especially with a speed scroll. He should definitely be getting out.
It's too far
So,
away.
alright, expansion is coming up, but this is very late. Tier 2
Panda
is done for the Orc.
Again. So is he following it up with Wyvern? I don't want to look into the base to dodge the fight here. But this Panda, I really like the play by Sock to force the fight far outside the expansion so the workers won't get hurt. You might lose a footman here and there, but that's pretty much about it. Retreating now. Expo started, but I don't think he can threaten that. 2, 3 Breath of Fires are already used, and there's no Chain Lightning, so...
1 or 2 more kills, though, and this Farseer is level 2. And then we have the Chain Lightning, so this is important experience. And there it is! And now we do have the chains. Not using it yet. More wolves summoned. Militia have to be called from the main. Nice clap coming in. That was a beautiful clap. The level 2 clap right there. Speed scroll has to be used. Can he threaten this MK? Dodging that clap for the most part. Everything is about to die, man. This is super close. And the Farseer is almost getting surrounded by the peasants.
There's no speed scroll anymore. Mountain King turns around. He's really playing with fire right here. The Farseer can, of course, attack. Mountain King is just has to TP. And not to the
Totally lost
Expo.
track of his grunts, though. I think every single one died.
There's the last
3
one.
grunts dead. This MK is close to level 4 now. But the peasants are still exposed. There's one more breath. Oh, no, never mind. There's no breath.
In a bit, though. weird game. Like, both players with mistakes, and it feels like they're playing on half a monitor or half a screen, as I lost track of a couple of things.
Surprised he's not taking out the tower. If he takes out the tower, the Wind Riders should have a pretty good time over here.
Well, he can still do that. Nothing is building, it's not upgrading. Mountain King is coming, but has no Storm Bolt. Oh, he has in a bit. This expo was so expensive.
Yeah, the 3 grunts there did die, and it could have perhaps been micro a little bit better, but there was so many things to keep track of. The heroes, the enemy units, the wolves, the grunts, everything. But here are the Wind Riders now. Are they the checkmate? Or can Schuck hold on with the mercs?
4 anti-air units. Can he snipe them? Oh, that breath is big! Stormbolt on this Wyvern, but the Berserker is dead. Level 2. That's more mana for the Panda. Second one is, down as well. I think it's still good. I mean, it's mass Wyvern now. It's double Beastery. He can push this through.
And this looks like critical mass. Yep, the tower is gone. We're gonna have Mud Golems coming in soon, I guess. That could be a help.
A critical mass of 1.
Yeah, if there's no counter, that's enough. And more are coming, of course. I guess what I meant. Because it's gonna be 3 Wind Riders here soon, and then the single Berserker perhaps not good enough to hold on anymore. Bosch is gonna be level 3 soon. Then we're gonna have the level 2 Wolves as well to add in even more damage to this super aggressive counter expo play.
Wow. Yeah, really cool. We've seen this from FoCuS more and more. To pick some off-meta second heroes, like a Dark Ranger, like a Naga, like a Panda right now, and it's oftentimes working. Like, it feels like the humans don't really have a solution against that. Muddy falls in a matter of seconds. Once again, the Mountain King without mana, and the Wyvern just following. Another one is coming from the north, and this time there's no TP to save him.
Just barely runs it away. Yeah. One Wind Rider does fall, but we still have a couple left, and that's enough. GG. 2-0 for FoCuS.
FoCuS continues his dominance from the past couple of weeks. And at the moment, I feel like, you know, every of the 3 regions that we have in Warcraft has its champion. That's TH, Moon, and Happy, obviously. And then afterwards, there's a big mix of players who can shine on a good day and can win championships on a very good day. That's like the 1-2-0s, the Lins. But among the not region champions, I feel FoCuS is the strongest of all of them. Like, better than Lawlight, better than Lin, better than 1-2-0.
I could agree with that statement if we're talking purely online.
Yeah, like, we haven't seen an offline game since WCG.
And this always makes me a little bit sad, because FoCuS shows us these performances regularly online, and we're dazzled, especially I am, and amazed. And he can never quite transition that shape into offline play, for whatever reason.
We'll see if there's an offline event soon. Maybe he will shine there. We go into a little break, and then it's time for our Russian contestant in the semifinal. Shake versus 14 Sway in an undead versus human. See you in a bit.